welcome to Creating Your Career with Marla J. Alberti. You guys know I'm super excited. This is episode 11. Can you believe I've been doing this almost a year? Oh my gosh. Anyway, so I am so excited because, as I am with every episode, I have Miss LaDonna Grafton, who I'm interviewing today. Go ahead and say hello to everybody, LaDonna.
Hello, everybody.
Yay! So, as you know, I love to talk about how I meet people because I love meeting people. So I met beautiful LaDonna at an organization we used to belong to, and she's a business owner. I'm a business owner. So, you know, us business owners, we kind of connect and we just click. So, but let me go into reading her bio, and then we're going to talk about how did LaDonna create her unique career. She's going to talk about it, guys. All right, so I'm going to read the bio. LaDonna P. Grafton is a visionary owner of Sankofa Creations. I love this. Spalon. She's going to talk about what a Spalon is. I love that. Based in Jacksonville, Florida, right here. The Spalon is a sacred healing place which specializes in therapeutic beauty services in an atmosphere of tranquility, professionalism, and integrity. I love that. She is an experienced cosmetologist, loctician, and she's going to talk about what a loctician is for those of us who don't know, and natural hair specialist, and has been featured in hair director for the Simply Natural Beauty and Wellness Expo. That was back in 2014 and 15. Also hair director of the A New View Hair and Fashion Expo right here in Jacksonville. Blue Pearl Spa right here in Jacksonville. She's been all over, honey. Y'all better catch on. Her natural hair artistry has been featured in local and national campaigns such as VWise, which is Veteran Women Igniting the Spirit of Entrepreneurship. I'm also a VWise vet, so I know all about VWise. Yay. Go veterans. Okay. She's also been featured on right here, our local channel News 4 and Rolling Out magazine. After 17 long years in the benefits outsourcing industry, LaDonna resigned. This is how we begin to create our career, and took a leap of faith to become a full-time entrepreneur. And did you hear that, guys? It takes faith, courage. We're going to talk about all that. LaDonna brings her spirited personality and solution-oriented mindset to the diverse village in which she serves, and loves reading, writing, traveling, dancing. We have that in common. We both love to dance. Singing and creating art, kayaking. I want to go kayaking. And connecting people to resources. Hey, LaDonna.
Hey, thank you.
I love that bio. So let's jump right in. Tell us about LaDonna. Give us a little bit of history from the past up till now, current.
Oh my goodness. So LaDonna is what I'm learning, and it's, we're learning ourselves as an ever-present process. Just a visionary who loves to create things, loves to be artistic and imaginative, but also very analytic and just like to get into the nitty-gritty of the details. So I was born in Jacksonville, Florida. We traveled all over. I've lived in Virginia Beach, Virginia, because my husband was military. And now that we're back here in Jacksonville, Florida since 2006. And it's something that I'm going to tell you, I never thought I would come back home per se, but I'm very glad I did, just to make the connections and to see how my path has led me on this incredible journey. So thankful to be where I am right now.
Oh my gosh. And we're going to talk about leading in that incredible journey. I know all about Virginia Beach, been there, done that, understand. Shout out to Virginia Beach, but glad to be back home in Jacksonville. So tell us about your path and your career. What exactly are you doing? I mentioned loctician, cosmetologist. Explain to us, what does that entail? What is your career right now?
Right now, my career is, I run the Spalon, and you kind of mentioned it earlier, and it's very dear to my heart because I've always thrived in a place where there's one-on-one interaction with my clients, not the typical salon environment where there's a million people around, and no offense to that particular model, but it just doesn't work for what I feel like I'm called to do. What I do is my own special brand of healing. A lot of people, when they come into my space, they also make note of the LaDonna experience, which I find it fascinating. If you want to learn what your peers and your clients think of you, you just ask them to describe you or promote your business and listen to the words that they say. And a lot of times they would say, oh, she's very professional, and I attribute that to my background in corporate America as an operations consultant, working in the benefits outsourcing business for nearly 2 decades. But I brought a lot of that into my current business, which I'm able to, have a successful holistic based business in a salon doing natural hair, I do locks. For those of you who don't know, these are locks, which I describe them as larger strands of hair that are matted together to create a style. And it's a way of life. And so what I do now is teach wellness. I teach beauty basics, and I teach, for my business is really geared towards professionals who want to rock a cute natural hair or wear locks, but want to also have maintained locks, and they love healthy hair. So I merge those two things together, and I create this holistic environment where it's not just based on the latest style or trends, but it's also focused on making sure your hair is healthy, treating certain issues that you may have, introducing them to different things they may not think about, but is more prevalent in the spa community, like, hydration and steaming and scalp exfoliation and massage, those types of things that I integrate into my business.
Wow. Okay. So you just said a lot there. So let's go back, guys. So I love how you said you had to do what was fit for you. What you said, I had to follow my own path. I love when you said the LaDonna experience. So give me a little bit about what is the LaDonna experience. So when a client walks into your space, what are they experiencing?
So when a client walks into my space, and I've journaled this, so this is so exciting to be able to verbalize what has manifested from my journal pages. But when they walk into my space, first of all, it's a sensory experience. I like to use aromatherapy. I like to use dim lighting. I like to make people feel comfortable, not just by talking to them, but just a sensory ambiance. Like they feel instantly refreshed and relaxed. And a lot of times people say, oh, I love coming to you. This is my peace. And I do feel like that way when I walk through these doors. It's instantly a feeling of peace and tranquility. It's not a lot of activity going on. It's one-on-one attention. I have private suites, so rooms that I do treatment in, and we go in there and we talk. Sometimes the appointment might preface with a consultation, which is scheduled beforehand. I do an intake form and an advanced hair analysis where I can kind of get the hair history out of the way, with the intake form. So when you sit in the chair, we're really talking about the nitty gritty. How can I serve you? And so from that point on, when people actually make an appointment, they know whether or not we're a good fit for each other, because I think that's important. Knowing, what my skills are, what your needs are, and merging the two. And so when you sit in my chair, it's all about you. It's all about pampering you. I have a coffee and tea bar. I have waters. I'm always just like, do you want something to eat? Do you want something to drink? I'll make their tea if they want me to. It's just like really personable, really hands-on, really just relax and let go. And just, you're here for your treatment. You're here for your pampering. This is all about you. And a lot of times, especially for the clients that I market to, they're professionals. They lead very successful lives, busy lives, multifaceted. They got a million things going on, because that was me. And when I go into a space like what I have, I want to turn off my phone. I want to not have to take a call. I want to not have to log into a conference. I want to just be there and make it all about just the awareness of self-care. And so, but they leave, it's just like, they love referring me. And that's the bulk of my business is done on referrals. But I reach out to them. My appointment scheduler sends like a follow-up notification that asks them if they would like to do a survey to give me some feedback so that I can make sure that I'm constantly improving and servicing my clients.
Wow. Okay. You guys know I can talk. That's why I have a talk show. So I could talk about that for days. I do want to go on to how you got into this career path. I want to mention a few key points you said. I love how you said the one-on-one experience. So basically, it sounds like to me, you're creating peace. You're dealing with the professional. They got a lot going on. They're busy, successful moms, whatever's going on in their world, fathers, that's going on in their world. So I know you cater to men as well. This is not just a women's Spalon, right?
Right.
So when they come into your seat, when they sit down in your seat, when they walk through your door and sit down, you are creating a sense of peace. You have their tea, you have their coffee. I love that. People just want to be pampered. That's why they go get their nails done, toes done, hair done, massage, facials, because people love themselves, are learning to love themselves, and they want to be pampered. And I love how you decided, you know what, I'm going to do this for someone else. I'm going to say, let me pamper you. Let me give you this one-on-one benefit for us to get to know each other and learn each other. And I also love how you said you do the intake form, because I do the same thing with coaching. Majority of my clients are referrals as well, through word of mouth. And you're right, you're not always a fit with everyone, but you're able to still give them that one-on-one attention. So that kind of flows into the next question. What made you decide to come be on this career? Because you were in corporate America for a little bit. So how did you transition into this career of creating your Spalon?
I'm going to tell you, it was really all about just understanding the gift, the innate giftings that I had. My dream was to become a healthcare administrator. I wanted to be an attorney, and I wanted to be a pediatrician. Okay.
That's okay.
Yeah. And you know what I found that was really incredible was that some of those qualities and those things that I wanted to be, right, are exactly what I use today. So I remember growing up, I would do hair for the neighborhood girls. I would do like the finger waves and the microwave ponytails. And I did acrylic nails at on my grandmother's table.
Mm-hmm.
She did not like that. She would be like, all this powder and all this smells and all this. But I realized that I liked art. I like the beauty of creating something. I like taking nothing and making it into a work of art, that satisfaction, right? And so what happened was I started my own personal natural hair journey after the birth of my son. Well, actually prior to, in 1997 and 1998, I was a freshman in college and I did the big chop. And it was the most liberating thing I could ever do. So I was walking around campus with my head wraps, growing my hair out, and just so in love with how my curls felt. I would just sit in class and just finger my curls, and man, I just connected with that. And then after my son was born, I decided to start locks the spring after because I was thinking intuitively, I knew that that was the next step. That I love the way they look, I love the way they felt, I love that they represented as far as antiquity, I love the history of them, and it was just a done deal. So I started locks, and as I learned how to take care of my hair, it became something that I was very, very passionate about. And when we moved to Virginia Beach in 2000, I wanted to find something. I didn't want to go back to corporate America per se because our son was so young. We're in this new city that I didn't know anybody except for one person, my friend Shayna. Shout out to Shayna. Her dad, their family was amazing, and they were her father was the captain in the Navy, and so she had resources to connect us around town. And I told her I really wanted to do something with hair. It just came out of, I would say, nowhere, but we all know that's not true, right? We know that there's like divine utterances, there's like signposts along the way, and things that alert us to what we're gifted at if we just start to pay attention. And so I pulled out the phone book. See, we were using phone books then. Not my cell phone, but I pulled out the phone book and I looked up all the hair schools that were in Norfolk. And I called them. And there was one place that answered the phone. It was Gant Beauty Academy in Norfolk, Virginia. And Dr. Harris told me, it was like New Year's Day. He said, come on, take a tour. And I'm like, so I went and took a tour of the school. And I knew, he was like, yeah, you can fill out these forms. You can sign up. We have financial aid. We have this and that. And I'm like, there's a 10-month fast track. You can do this full time. And I was like, yes, I'm going to do it. So I'm calling my mentors back home, my natural hair stylist and the mentors to me. And I'm like, do you think I should do this? Like, what do you think? And they were all giving me encouraging information and just telling me to just go for it. And I did. I finished in 10 months. I graduated valedictorian of Ghent Beauty Academy. And I immediately went to work for hair cuttery because guess what? They had free education and I love, love, love to learn. So that was interesting because, of course, you know, at hair cuttery, you know, no offense to their brand, but, you know, natural hair and chemical-free services wasn't something that was so prevalent in the salon back then, right? So we all had to find our way. And it was neat for me because that was when my business was born. Sankofa Creations was born. And at that time, because I had to figure out a way to still connect with my natural hair clients. So it began as a mobile business, which I always had on the side up until, you know, I moved back to Jacksonville and I went to work at True Roots Salon, which for those of you who do not know, True Roots was one of Jacksonville's premier natural hair salons run by Tanya Wynn. And I credit her as one of my early mentors. She's amazing. And she's the one that set me on the path to learning, you know, a lot more of the history behind locks, the way that you do business, the way that you create an atmosphere. I created a lot of that to her because I was able to witness firsthand, you know, how to make people feel welcome, because it's such a personal thing when you're dealing with your hair and your crown. And especially with changing your lifestyle to include natural hair and locks during a time when no one was doing that. So that gave me a lot of the foundation at the beginning. So that's really how I got here, and it's just evolved. I've always loved like holistic things, very spiritual. You know, I love bridging that gap and bringing those things into my atmosphere, into my business. And so that's kind of how I developed the Spalon concept and becoming more holistic. And now I've expanded and I offer wellness classes in my space as a part of the Self-Care Sunday initiative. So I love where this is going, and I love that we have to stay reinventing ourselves for the next opportunities. And it's not an accident.
Wow. Okay. Again, I could get stuck on that forever. Oh my gosh. So, guys, did you hear that? There's always a common theme throughout any of my interviews that I do, and even with my Facebook group, it's called the Learning Association. The key word is learn. You knew you had to do something. You took a chance. Everything is about taking a chance. Everything is about leaping. So what? You may fall, you may fail, but you said, you know what? On New Year's Day, I'm going to call up this salon, this hair school on New Year's Day and just see what they're talking about. Lo and behold, you went in, you took the chance, and now years later, here you are. You made the necessary steps. But I think the key word here is you educated yourself, not necessarily formal education at the school. At a school, you did go to college, but you educated yourself in what you felt your gift was, what you felt you needed to do to move forward, to create your dream, your vision, because you knew as a little kid, okay, I'm doing nails, I'm doing hair, I'm doing this stuff. So how can I move this forward? I love that. So while you were in, so my question now is, while you were in this, what skills, so someone that wants to come up and, because as you notice, dreadlocks are going wild now. I mean, it's natural hair is not new. It's actually more and more people are going natural. I wish I could, but but it's not for everybody. But it is growing. It's a rapid growing thing. So moving forward, if someone wants to start their own salon, start their own wellness classes, become a loctician, what skills do they need that maybe you picked up that you can recommend to them?
Oh my goodness, there's so many. So first I'll say that there has to be an innate desire to do this. This is a skill that requires you to be standing for a long period of time, or maybe even just being personable, really listening and hearing your client and understanding where they are and how you can get them to where they want to be. I think some of those skills, as far as like being business minded, or at least being willing and open to, if you don't know something, you're going to learn it. You're being committed to learn it, because a lot of times in this industry, unfortunately, I do see a lot of times where maybe someone is not necessarily skilled in natural hair care, but they say they do it because maybe they watched a few YouTube videos and maybe they can do it like a natural gifting, but they don't really know like maybe some technique. But I say always remain open to learning and growing and investing in your education, taking the time to find mentors, taking the time to go to these hair shows, learn what's trending, and be willing to take that information in and see how you can enhance and brand your business using your gifts, because you can't be like someone else. You know what I mean? You can't be like, I'll use a popular stylist. Back when I was in Virginia, there was a stylist in a salon, Patrick, I think his name is Patrick, and he does like coloring, cutting, and makeup, and it's so glamorous. My style is chic and bohemian and natural and just flowing and just you know what I'm saying? Even though we do value looking beautiful, but it's more about the journey of what's happening on the inside to make that translation to the outside. So what I'm saying is that's naturally who I am. So if a person who wants to do this, pick up on certain personality clues, things that they're really gifted at, because, and also to know to stay in your lane. For instance, I'm a licensed cosmetologist. I can do massage. I can do facials. I can do nails if I choose to. I can have a full license. I choose to do what I'm totally gifted at right now, which is like teaching hair mastery, natural beauty, enhancing your natural beauty, working with chemical-free services. That's my lane. And then what I have to learn how to do is leverage connections for other people that have the other gifts that maybe I want to offer in here. and then we collaborate. But I think a lot of times I see stylists just want to do so much instead of really honing in on what their gifts and talents, where that resides. And so I think that's really important to do some self-assessment and know how to pick up on what you love, and do that, because your gifts will make room for you. I think it's good to stay the word that comes to mind is malleable, right? Because let's face it, things are ever changing. When I started out doing natural hair, my own hair director, he laughed when I told him what I wanted to do. Bless his heart, he didn't know. He didn't know. And so I would love to hear, his thoughts now on what's happening now that natural hair is trending, now that we see, campaigns, widespread media campaigns with curly hair and naturals, and people in media and the movies and TV shows with locks. I'd love to know what he thinks. But I think the point is to always stay just cognizant of the change, be present to change.
Wow.
Never look too far, but just stay open to change.
Wow. Okay. That's a lot.
Okay.
I love it. I love it. So guys, some of the key skills she said, know what your innate desires are. Yes, we have so many things that we're good at and that you can do. But find that focus thing, find that one thing that you want to stay on. And I'll say this, guys, I'm big. I advocate trying everything. That's in my book, my chapter that I wrote back here in the Better Business book. Try everything. Mm-hmm. And then once you try that everything, hone in on one thing, then you can branch out later and do different things. Right? Absolutely. So you opened your salon, you focused in on that. Now you're teaching wellness classes. Now you're branching out. So you're staying in your lane, but you moved a little bit, but you're still in your area. So it's okay to just step out there. Another skill I love that you said, business minded, because you opened up a Spalon. So you just can't just walk into town and say, oh, I'm just going to buy this place. You actually opened up a Spalon. Can you talk to us for a little bit about your journey for that, opening up the Spalon? Like, how did that happen?
I'm so glad you asked me that, because I was just sitting here thinking that, how the scripture says not to despise small beginnings. Mm-hmm. I'm going to tell you, you heard me say that I started out in hair cutting. Then That's when my whole business was born. Then when we relocated, I worked in a natural hair salon, but that salon closed. So then I was faced with having to go back to corporate America to support my family. And I did that, but I still had this business that was a mobile business that I still saw clients because of the rapport that I built up at that place of business. So they followed me everywhere I went. And so from there, I decided, you know what? I'm tired of being mobile. I'm going to look and see if I can find a salon to maybe bring my brand to. And I found a place over in Arlington, and it was actually a barbershop and a salon separated. And I always would say, whenever I would interview with a salon space owner, I would say, I need a space to create, right? I need a private space to create. KB Sean Barber and Beauty was absolutely amazing. They would create these partitions for me. I had a private room that I can consult in whenever I saw clients that may have had pre-existing conditions going on, like alopecia and hair loss, and they didn't want to be out in the open in front of everybody else. But I eventually outgrew that space, and I found a small suite near Regency. Now, the suite was really small, and, they're not complaining, right? I had a shampoo bowl in there, 2 dryers, and my station, all in that one room.
Wow.
And I love my little room. I was so thankful for it, right? And then after that, it's like Spirit was telling me, okay, now what's the next step? The next step, and I would always know when it was time for me to take the next step, because my current surroundings would start to get uncomfortable. Not in a negative way, but in a way that let me know that you are outgrowing your space, right. Outgrowing in the space of it's time to grow and spread your wings, but you can't do it right here. So then I found a build out, and we were talking about setbacks, but I found a build out opportunity that I had invested all this money in, and I was like, yes, I'm going to do this, and it turned out to be a scam, right? But guess what? It was all good, because I got all my money back except for $5, which that's fine with me. But it taught me something. Sometimes we do have to take some steps back and look at the big picture and find and recalibrate. And so from that, another opportunity landed in my lap. I was at home working from home one day, scouring online. I found another small space because I knew exactly what the keywords for the space that I wanted. I needed a suite. I needed something that that was just different, unique, but just separate from the traditional salon environment. And I found another salon actually right above where my business is right now, and I rented a room in the salon. So now my room space got bigger, right? And I was sharing a shampoo bowl area and a dryer area, but there were other businesses around. But I had that sweet concept that I always adored and loved. And then I started looking around in the neighborhood for it. I felt like, okay, now it's time to grow again. Your business is booming. Doors are opening. It's time for me to create a whole therapeutic space, not just one room. And I started looking elsewhere. And then one day, one of the stylists said, "Hey, do you know the tenants downstairs are moving out?" And I said, "Oh, I'm texting the owner, like, can I go take a look at that space?" And he's like, "Really, for you?" And I was like, "Yes." So, and I shared with him my vision. And at the time, it was one suite, but it was everything that I needed. Multiple rooms. I still needed to bring my furniture down. I still needed to install water heater, just the usual build out stuff that I was already prepared for from that other failed experience that didn't go through. And so I began to just really be thankful for everything that I was looking for was right under my nose. So I opened that suite. The next year, he comes to me and he says, "Are you ready to expand? Your neighbors are moving out." I said, "Yes." Absolutely terrified, but I knew it was the right move. And so I opened up a wall and combined two suites. And then the next year he comes to me and he says, your new suite is ready. I knew what was being spoken to me in my private prayer time, but he didn't know, right? And so when he said that, it just felt like, okay, God, where are you taking me? Because now I have three suites. And it was all a part of what I had written down in my journal, the vision that I wanted to create for my business, down to the T, down to the colors that I would use on the walls, the type of furnishing I have, the type of client that will walk through my doors. How would they feel when they walk? What do they do? What do they do for a living? What do they need? What do I need? What type of services would I offer? And how can I teach them? And I think this third space, that has been the manifestation of that desire to teach. The first space was a manifestation of the desire to create, right? And then this whole experience is a manifestation of my gift to inspire. So that's what I feel like where I am now. Who knows what's next? I say the whole building. Why not? Why not? So
Why
that's where
not?
that's the steps that I took to get to this point. And I just want to point out too that it started with me serving other salon businesses. It started with me just letting them mentor me and teaching me, because I didn't know everything and I still don't know everything. But just being open to learning how to be customer focused, just building the relationship, and also being about my craft and being technical to where I know what I'm talking about, and I'm able to demonstrate that when I work. I hope that answers your question. That's the journey.
No, that was wonderful. I wanted people to hear. Thank you so much. I wanted people to hear that because it is a process. It is such a process. I mean, and I've said this repeatedly on the show. It takes time, people, when you're wanting to get into business, no matter what that business is, no matter what your expertise is, or if you have many expertise, it takes time. It does not happen overnight. I don't think I've read about or seen any successful business that started where they walked into the salon or they walked into the business. Oh, well, I have 5,000 clients today. I'm doing great. It took time, and you built that up. You went from a small room to medium room to large room that you started out with in other people's salons, helping them, being mentored by them. I love how I wrote down so many things. I love how you went through the scam piece, but with that, my motivational phrase, guys, she kept it moving. Keep it going. Keep it moving. Kim, okay, well, we failed. I say it over and over and over again. Two of my favorite phrases. I say, I'd rather do it and fail than to not do it at all and sit there and wonder. I have to do it. So I'm so glad that you just did it. You just took the leap and you just did it. We're not saying quit your jobs tomorrow. You heard LaDonna say. You heard her say she had to go back to corporate America, something she did not want to do. But you have to eat. We can't eat oodles and noodles forever. You can't. They're salty. But you can. You gotta take care of your family. You gotta do something. And then she kept moving. And the second part of a few other things, and before I get to our fun question, you journaled this, you wrote this stuff down. I teach whenever every coach coaches differently. And one thing I do with my clients is I have them get a journal. If it's a notepad, piece of paper, whatever, but I have them keep a journal throughout all of our sessions. And that's the turning point in their in the coaching is the journal. Write it down. Because my second phrase, which my coach told me, is whatever you believe, you are 100% correct. So if you believe the sky's purple, then it's purple. No one's going to argue with you. They may argue with you, but you're going to still believe what you want to believe. So whatever you believe, you're right. It's a self-fulfilling prophecy. Self-fulfilling prophecy is believing something that may or may not be true and applying it to your life. So there you go. So I am a firm believer in whatever you believe for yourself, it can happen. So thank you so much for sharing that journey. So before we get to our fun question, tell our viewers, how can they reach LaDonna? How can they come in and be pampered? Emails, websites, what ongoing classes you have, because this is an evergreen video, so it'll be out there forever. Okay. How can they get in contact with you? And I'll provide those links in the description below.
Okay, perfect. I'm so glad you asked that. I am on Facebook. I have a Facebook business page, Sankofa Creations Spalon. I also have an Instagram page for the business, which I post the pictures. My website is www.sankofacreations.com. And then I also have the appointment scheduler link, which people can find by going to www.booksankofaspalon.as.me. And it takes you directly to the link. Although, the other site is twofold. It takes you to the same place too, but you're able to see some of the services, and any questions or descriptions about the services that I offer are all there. And let's see, what else?
Ongoing classes or anything that's...
Oh, yes. So Self-Care Sunday started back in February, and we've had like the art of African hair wrapping. We've had chair yoga. We are having a class actually, it's tomorrow, but it'll be after your interview drops. But the class tomorrow, we're talking about womb wellness with my friend Kim Beatty from Houston, Texas. I'm really super excited about that. Just talking about that healing that we sometimes overlook, that we have access to, that we can just heal our bodies using some practical gifts that the earth has already given us. So that's tomorrow. And upcoming, I do have, speaking of journaling, I'm so excited about this class. June 3rd, we are having a creative journaling class with Alexis, and she's going to be taking us through some steps that we can use to kind of use coping strategies, because she's a licensed mental health therapist. And so she's going to talk to us about using journaling to mind map, to create our futures, to maybe use it to get stuck out of situations that we may be, or anything that we may be facing. She's going to take us through that through an artistic lens. So we're going to have journals and art supplies, and she's going to take us through that modality. Really excited about that. And I'm also in contact with some other local holistic healers and teachers. And I also want to put the invitation out that anybody can contact me if you feel like you have something that's edifying to the spirit, something that's holistic, something that attributes itself to wellness, and you have something you want to teach. Feel free to reach out to me at info@sankofacreations.com so that we can set up a meeting to talk about what your class is going to be. I'd love to have that. So thank you for sharing that, Marla.
Oh, of course. I love it. And everything, guys, just in case you didn't get it, I'm going to have it down in the links below. She's going to provide me all that information, the ongoing classes, the class titles, emails, and all that. So don't feel like you missed out. Thank you so much, LaDonna. So my last and final fun question is, tell the world something that they may not know about you, maybe a little surprising, that you want to share with everybody.
Oh, man. Well, most people may not know that I'm actually an introvert. Seriously.
Oh.
Yeah, I am. I
can believe that.
I get nervous too when I have to meet new clients or do new things. Although I love new things. It's just something. It makes me like my knees will knock. And I realize that is an opportunity for me to show up regardless of how I may be feeling about letting people in. And I realize it's because I don't like superficial things. I like to get down deep when I talk to my clients. And that's evident because a lot of us just develop these really close personal relationships But it's something about just, the perfunctory, hi, how are you? Nice to meet you. It's like I want to know them. And so it makes me nervous to just that initial meeting. But most people probably would be surprised about that. The other thing too is that let's see, well, you told them, but I love outdoor stuff. I am just like I think I'm a thrill seeker. I am. I
Okay.
love experiences, and kayaking for me has become that new obsession and thrill. I love all things nature, beauty. So I want to go hug some trees, some redwoods, and just see like it's like an outdoorsy kind of girl. But most people probably be surprised to hear that too.
I love it. I love it. I'm so glad you said that because as much as everyone who knows me knows I can't stand bugs. They're like a nuisance in my life. I don't know why God created them. But I do like to take walks. I do like to go on nature trails. So they're probably like, Marley, you hate going outside. I'm not an outside person, but I do want to go kayaking. I do want to do stuff. I just don't want a bug on me. That's all. I just don't want bugs on my body. That's just me.
I totally identify with that because I don't like spiders. And you want to hear something crazy? My very first kayaking, experience on Pottsburg Creek, there I had to scoop out 4 spiders from my boat. I was like, okay, so obviously this is here to grow me past my fear of spiders. And it did. I was like, okay, you got to get out my boat.
And I would have been like, well, nope, that's my last time kayaking. I'm good. I'm gonna turn the boat around.
Because guess what? You can't lean in kayaking or else you're going in the water.
Oh, so, you're right. No, yeah, you're right. Because you're right. Yeah. So yeah, it'll be a while then.
Coexist. I had to say, hey, you got to go somewhere. Not in here, but you got to go somewhere.
Right. Oh my gosh. I love that, guys. Well, thank you so much, LaDonna. This has been a joy. I love doing these interviews. I love learning about people and their lives and how they create their careers, and knowing that there's no limits. Only limits that we put on ourselves are what we put on ourselves. So guys, if you're interested in being interviewed on creating your career, please email me at info@truthspeakscoaching.com. Again, that's info@truthspeakscoaching.com. I'm going to have the links down below for all of the information that LaDonna was speaking about. LaDonna, thank you so much, guys, and we will see you next month for episode 12, 1 year. I got another special guest coming up. All right, guys, talk to you guys later. Bye.
Okay. Bye-bye.